History of the Cold War by Julian Gandara. The Cold War was a period of geopolitical tension between the United States and the Soviet Union that lasted to 1945 to 1999. The roots of the conflict took place in the middle of World War II. At that time, the United States and the Soviet Union were allies in the war, but they didn't exactly fully trust each other, as they had different political ideologies. One nation believed in capitalism and democracy, while the other believed in communism and totalitarianism. Despite this, both of them fought side by side against the Nazi army and ultimately emerged victorious. However, this alliance broke down when the US found out that the USSR had convinced Eastern European countries that were previously under Nazi control to shift to a communist government. In response, the US took action by siding with Western European countries, which put a metaphorical iron curtain between two blocks of the continent. And such, the Cold War had officially begun. Early on, both nations fought to expand the ideologies across Western and Eastern European blocs. The US implemented the Marshall Plan, sending billions of dollars to rebuild the Western Bloc, while the Soviet Union tightens control with the Eastern Bloc, leading to the construction of the Berlin Wall, which led. The Cold War soon escalated to an arms race, as both nations amassed a huge amount of nuclear weapons, which could cause massive devastation if they're ever activated. One thing to know is that despite its name, the Cold War wasn't an actual war, as both nations never engaged in any formal encounter, but the threat of doing so always loomed ahead. Events of the Cuban Missile Crisis almost led to the erupting of the war, and thus, both nations preferred to participate in proxy wars like the Korean and Vietnam War rather than fighting directly. The two nations also poured a lot of resources into space exploration in order to improve their technical superiority, leading to the first space race. By the end of the 1980s, tensions between the two nations began to wind down, as the leaders of the two nations at the time, Ronald Reagan and Mikhail Gorbachev, worked to reduce the nuclear weaponry. And in 1989, the Berlin Wall that was built in the beginning of the Cold War, fell, and ended decades of devastation. Finally, in 1999, the Soviet Union fell, and by proxy, ended the Cold War. The way I see it, the Cold War was more like a competition between two powerful nations to see who had more power, and what it led to many social, political, and technological advances. It should serve as a reminder of how fragile the relationships between nations are, as one dispute can lead to severe consequences. History of the Cold